Welcome back to our podcast of Living Life Unchained with me, Aaron Saltzman, and my boy,
Chris Sanders.
We want to introduce to you guys today the topic that is so prevalent in this world and tends to be a reason why we keep these chains around ourselves. And that topic today is social media. And Chris, how has social media been an impact on your life to start? And how is it impacting the world and society we live in today?
Definitely for my life, I think it's kept me connected to people who I wanted to be connected to and help inform me on things that I want to be informed about. At the same time, I see it's not the same for everybody else. The way I look at it on the outside world, a lot of times people are having their lives be negatively impacted by social media. And I give you a quick example. One situation I always ask students when I go to different schools and present to the youth is, hey, would you give a stranger access to know where you live at, access to your personal images? And they're like, absolutely not. Why would I give that to a stranger?
Yeah.
And people would do it every day on social media without even knowing.
Yeah, I think you're 100%, and I can't wait to dive down deeper into, because you work with a lot of people. I've always been interested in working with the younger crowd of what social media is doing to them, because in our lives, we see what it's doing to people at our own age, people that have seen both sides of the coin. We have seen what life was like without social media. We see what life is like with social media. We have felt what it's like to have both and what those internal dialogues are telling us. So I'm looking forward to breaking down what it's doing to the youth of the world. And so I agree. I think social media, it can be used for both. It can be a good thing and a very, very toxic and negative thing, because it can be a great way to stay connected with your loved ones. And it can be a great way to educate yourself on, we have it at the palm of our hand, right? Instead of having to go onto YouTube and find what we're looking for, it's looking to find us through algorithms and things like that. So there is a lot of positive to it, but negatively, what it's doing to our brain and the way that we see the world. For example, social media is built around instant gratification. Social media is built and designed for you to see other people's highlight reels. You're seeing the best of their life, if it is even their life. Because we know on social media, we've created social media, a lot of it is just skits and saying verbatim of a quoted word that you have written down. And so what do you think about that when it comes to instant gratification and what it's doing to our world today?
Definitely. We can dive a little bit deeper too, because the brain has four major parts, right? You got the cerebrum, the cerebellum, the brainstem, and the diencephalon. Your brain is having a lot of chemical and electrical messages. Those neurons, billions of neurons, are always working, whether you're sleeping or awake. Now, when it comes to the brain, there's a big word, dopamine. And dopamine is something that is put out, and it's not necessarily from a drug, not necessarily from a certain type of thing. You can get the dopamine release from just eating healthy, from exercising, working out. We're finding that a lot of people are getting that dopamine release through social media. And those transmitters are getting, abused over time. When people are addicted to social media, they're constantly looking for that gratification to give them that dopamine release. Now, when you talk about the youth of today is definitely different from our youth, right? We were kind of like in that middle.
Yeah.
Having life before social.
Yeah, we got both sides of the coin. Yeah, we kind of saw both ends.
Yeah, having life before social and then having life after social, right? For the youth today, they're taking it more serious than we ever did. So you're seeing a higher rate of individuals harming themselves in different ways because of
that's what I'm afraid
social
of.
media. You and I both are.
Yeah, I really think that social media, yes, dopamine, people are chasing that, and they're also seeing what they don't have, and they're seeing it as if everybody else has it. And so for the youth, it's scary because it's all they're going to know. All they're going to know is this fake perceived of what life should be, and putting judgment on themselves. And that's where the living life chained part comes in. Is now they're going to start chaining themselves to what their life is not. Instead of allowing freedom of understanding that the people that they're being validated their life is not good enough, is not really living that life either, right? Like you brought it up to me not that long ago that like all those, even some of the rich and famous people with the Bugattis and stuff like that, well, the Bugatti was probably rented, right? It's not their real life. It's them magnifying what they want their life to be and what they want to be seen as. And so I can't imagine what that's going to do to the youth of people that don't recognize that, right?
You know, it's definitely tough. It's kind of like when somebody utilizes drugs. That first time they use that drug, they get a certain feel, a certain high.
Yeah.
And then to go back to that same high level, they try to use the same amount of drugs and it doesn't work. They got to use more. They got to build that tolerance so they get to that level.
Yeah.
I think that when it comes to social media, as you mentioned, it's a tool like anything else. A tool is pretty much, to have an outcome in regards to how you use it. You can use it for good or you can use it for negative. If somebody has the ability to have a hammer, but yet they're hitting glass windows versus actually hitting nails, it's going to help build a structure.
Yeah.
The outcomes are going to be different. One is building and one is destroying. So when it comes to social media, do you see more people utilizing it as a tool to elevate or to do the opposite?
So I've been on both sides myself. I've been a consumer and I've been a creator. And you look at things differently on both realms, right? One, you get lost in the world of consuming other people's content. And again, we utilize their content on why our life is not good enough. And not only that, you get stuck in it. Like it takes a lot of time out of your day to be sitting there just doom scrolling, right? And then all of a sudden you just have all these hours go by with nothing, no plan behind it, no action, no education, no thought behind it. So I've been on that side and I completely understand how people can get lost on that side. And I've been on the creator side. I've been on the side where I'm methodically using social media for my benefit to get to where I want to in life. So for example, is if I'm scrolling on social media, it's to educate myself in areas of interest, right? It's to follow people who I want to emulate. It's to follow people who I want to be like and maybe see how they go about what I'm trying to accomplish myself. And with creation comes, I create, I put it down, I get back to life, right? Consuming, you're just stuck in this whirlwind and you're taking in so much at one time to where your dopamine levels are maxed out. And then if we really want to deep dive on this, well, what is this doing to your quality of life on the outside of social media? What is this doing to your sleep pattern, right? Like all this dopamine highs that you're accomplishing throughout your day. What is this doing to your addictive pieces of your body, right? Like what else is that going to make you want to be addicted to, right? Like a lot of addiction that comes from social media might be the same feeling of dopamine hit with pornography, with addiction to drugs, with addiction to gambling, right? Like all of these addictions, people are going to be so used to keeping their dopamine so high.
Yeah, so
they're going to be chasing.
When it comes to addiction can be anything that is harmful and that you're unable to stop doing. And again, it shows a variety of different facets.
Yep.
Now, let's talk about ways to overcome this. Couple different cheat codes.
Yeah.
And again, when it comes to books, you and I both love to digest a lot of books. One of my favorite books, as you know, is the book of when it comes to living life, the best way to live life is to live life without drifting, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah, I love the drifting thing that you brought into our world of living life unchained. Drifting, great meaning behind it.
Yeah, the Napoleon Hill's Outwitting the Devil is the book that got me linked on stopping to drift. And for somebody who wants to go on social media, a tool that I utilize is setting a timer. So like similar to you, I love to go to social media to find individuals who are doing things that I want to accomplish or individuals who are talking about things that I find actually beneficial. Sometimes before I go on social media, I'll set a timer on my phone. I'll set a 5 or 10 minute timer. And it's like, okay, I'm gonna set my timer. I'm gonna go look for what I look for.
Yeah.
And if you go from one video that you find value in, chances are you're gonna go to another video that you find value in. And like you mentioned that doom scrolling, before you know it, people can be an hour, 2 hour, 5 hours, 10 hours deep. But if you set a timer before you go into your social media app, you can have that timer go off as like, okay, this is my cue to jump out so I don't get caught in that realm of just doom scrolling.
Yeah, I love it. I think drifting is a great analogy of what this is. It's drifting away from the goals that you have set in place or from what you want to accomplish throughout your day. And by doom scrolling, you're putting that all aside and going into this realm. And so to take that one step further, what I did on my phone, and you guys can all do this too, is you can go in your app settings and literally put a ban timer for how long you're allowed to be on that app for the day. And so for Instagram, I have 1 hour set for my day. And sometimes I use that as great informational content. And sometimes I do use it for taking some time to myself and just trying to distract myself from everything that's going on. But I only get 1 hour full. And so I know if I want to take something away from that, at least 30 to 40 minutes of that needs to be educational based. So it allows you to put parameters on your ability to scroll.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it allows you to put like when you're bowling, bumpers, right? On allowing you to stay in the right lane and not allowing you to drift.
Absolutely. When it comes to self-regulation, there's so much power in that. If we as people can decide, I'm going to set up things in my life that's going to make sure I have better outcomes. That could be if somebody's dating. It could be like, hey, I'm not going to talk to anybody that I meet at this kind of location. I'm not going to talk to anybody who has this kind of history or doesn't have the goals or dreams, aspirations. The boundaries, the regulation that we set up for ourselves determine our outcomes. So I love how you mentioned that, right? Whether it's setting a timer like myself or whether it's, utilizing Aaron's strategy where it goes to go to the actual app and put those parameters. Either way, that tool is there. Now, whether or not people utilize that tool will determine their outcome.
Yeah. And how would you go about your way of getting people to understand that social media is not the real world, that social media, everything that you're seeing on social media, people did not just gift or get those things immediately. That how can you explain to somebody the difference between instant gratification and actually going through the process of life to accomplish the things that you want to accomplish?
Yeah, definitely. I think everything always starts internally. When you feel good internally, you have a good self-belief of who you are and what you want to do with your life. You look externally less. So first, that gratitude of being appreciative of what you currently have. When you appreciate what it is you have in front of you, you're less likely to look at somebody else's situation. If you're shopping and you have all the right groceries in your cart and you're happy to go check out, you're less likely to look at other people's cart and start comparing.
Yeah.
Oh man, they got this type of yogurt. They got ice cream. Like when you're able to be confident in yourself and look internally and love yourself, you're more likely to be able to succeed without the need of social media and feeling like social media has the ability, the power to change the way you look and perceive your life.
Yeah, and this was something that was very dominant in my life. And again, this is kind of where the beast within came to life. Is the beast within was about overcoming these mental obstacles or these mental challenges of comparing yourself to other people. And so what I want you guys to try to do the next time you're on social media is instead of looking at somebody and saying, oh man, I don't have what they have, use it as a little bit more of a motivation of, oh man, I like what they have. Oh, I like what they're doing. Let me try to move my life in the direction that they are, right? Let me take in their content versus let me take in their content so I can produce better versus take in their content so I fold and give up and quit, right? So it's just the way that you perceive their content now, right? Yeah, it's the visual of how do I want this to benefit my life versus take away from my life. And that's the thing. Social media can do both.
Yeah.
And social media has the ability to either drive you forward or push you back. And so what I'm ask of you guys is to challenge yourself, one, on the amount of time that you spend on social media.
Yep.
Right? Do not let it dictate your entire day or drift you away from accomplishing the things that you want to accomplish. And two, looking at it from the scope of a positive outlook on how is this going to benefit my life and not take away.
That perception piece is so huge, and similar to you, Aaron, we talk about it all the time. I love affirmations. One of my affirmations is celebrate and praise others. I tell you, I don't hate on individuals. I love to see people win in whatever way that they're winning because I believe whatever somebody has going on for themselves that's what's meant to be. What I've going on for myself is what's meant to be for me, right? So when it comes to celebrating and praising others, when I look at individuals who are doing things of high value, I look at that and I say, man, that's dope. Great for that person.
Yeah.
Right? Because I know that we all have our time. We all have our, our marks that we're going to hit on.
Yeah.
Just because somebody else is winning doesn't mean that you have to be fearful or be mad because.
And that's it. Yeah. That is not judging somebody else's win and putting it on yourself because the people, this is the thing, hate is gonna come on social media, and you're gonna see it. If you guys are putting out content, and you guys are trying to be an influencer, and you guys are trying to grow yourself, understand there will be people who are gonna hate on your material. But let me tell you guys, from a person who has succeeded in the gym, from a person that has succeeded in business, and a person that thrives to succeed, I will promise you that the people that matter, the people that are doing something with their lives, will never hate on you. These people will never bash on your content. The most fit people will never bash on somebody for showing up to the gym. The most highest paid entrepreneurs will never bash on you for trying to start a business. And same thing with social media content. This took a long time for me to get over. I thought, oh, it had to be perfect, or people were going to judge me, or people were going to laugh at me, or people were going to say mean things, right? But the people that are actually doing something with their life, they're going to be the ones praising you. They're going to be the ones double clicking on your stuff, right? They're going to be the ones hearting your stuff, commenting on your stuff. And you got to be careful with either the people that are negative talking on your material or ghosting your material and acting like they just don't see it.
Yeah, definitely. You know, when it comes down to it, you don't have people who are winning a race take the time to stop and look back and talk trash to people who are behind them.
Yeah.
A lot of times when people are giving you that negative noise, it's people that's behind you chirping because they're trying to catch up.
They're on the sidelines.
They're not
even in the race.
They're hoping that you stumble. You know, Theodore Roosevelt talks about the man in the arena, the man who is, you know, has the dust, who has the dirt, who has the blood. That's the person actually making the moves. The person who's in the stance, they're just watching, you know. And in life, we're deciding, you and I, we're deciding to make moves to be able to actually follow and chase our dreams.
Yep.
If somebody's on the sidelines telling you, oh man, whatever, like who cares what they think? And again, when it comes to content, you typically have, you know, individuals who are not where they want to be, and they're giving off their reflection of how they feel about themselves onto other people.
Exactly. And it's the difference between living chained or living unchained. And be careful with who you listen to. Be careful with what you allow to affect you, because that can drive whether or not your chains become stronger, or whether you decide to let go. Because if somebody else is telling you that you're not good enough, or somebody else is telling you that your ideas suck, right? Or somebody else is telling you that your content is not informative, right? You're going to start to fold to the pressure of that. And you're going to start to tighten those chains and, oh, maybe I shouldn't post, or maybe I should post this way, or maybe I should try to create something else. Just be authentically you when it comes to social media. That's such a harder thing said than done. It's so hard to just be yourself and not care about what other people are going to say or think about your content, because people out there, and we'll leave you guys with this, people out there, there are so many people who are just like you, and they need to hear your message. And although it won't resonate with everybody, it will resonate with the people that it's meant to get to. And you will help somebody. Again, if you're a creator, you will help somebody by putting that piece of that piece of content, that message out there. Somebody needs to hear it. And I'll leave you guys with that, is that just get out there and post, and don't be afraid of what other people are going to say or do with your message.
Definitely. And the thing I want to leave people with is life, look at it like a thermostat. Whether it be through social media or whether it be through individuals who you constantly connect with. If you're connected with individuals, or you're looking at somebody's page and they make you feel less than, delete them, take them off. If you surround yourself with people in person, or you're looking at somebody's social media content and they give you the desire and ability to believe more in yourself, increase those type of individuals.
I love it. Yeah, you get to choose your following, right? Or you get to choose your followers. Yeah, I mean, on both sides, you get to choose. I mean, that delete button's there on both sides.
There you go. You know, like some people may like the temperature 74, some may like it at 76. You adjust your thermostat in your life to where you want it to be.
Yeah, fill your feed with people that motivate you and people that push you to be better, and not people who you feel are unrelatable or in a circumstance of life that's just not where you're headed. And so I love that. And with that being said, guys, this is Living Life Unchained, helping you guys unchain yourself from the obstacles that are holding you back, and from maybe the people or the environments that are keeping you stuck. My name is Aaron Saltzman.
Your boy, Chris Sanders. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and share all platforms.
And we can't wait to